Welcome back, guys. I want to show you guys how to make this beautiful mirror that I made here. And how easy it is to take this idea and run with it to make any size custom mirror you want. Let's get to it. First step is getting a mirror. Now, the cheapest way to do this is to get a standing mirror or a wall mirror. They're only like 20 bucks from like Lowe's or Home Depot or something. Take the edging off that and cut it down from there. First problem with this was the first tool I had broke in my hands. But if you get a good sharp tool, nice clean cuts, it'll snap off no problem. This one had a paper backing, so I had to worry about that as well. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Always use a straight edge and do your best to cut on the outside of what you need. It's a lot easier to go from too big than it is to work from too small. And there were requirements size-wise on what she had for me to build. I'd like to take a moment here to thank all of my Patreons over at patreon.com. It's in large part of their support that I'm able to bring this content to you. Their donations help me pay for materials, new tools, rent, and help support my family as a whole. So if you think what I do is worth more than just a like or subscribe, go over to patreon.com/Knightsmith and sign up. Even $1 a month really helps. Now this is the previous mirror that I was working with, and I destroyed this one, but they're the same thickness. So this is just me setting the height for the banding that's going to be going around and holding the mirror in place. I'm just doing this with the table saw instead of the router. For as simple as this project was, it gave me so much problem because it's been so long since I've worked with glass that, oh boy. But it was fun nonetheless because it was doing something I don't normally do. And really with a project like this, the sky is the limit. You can get as creative as you want. Now this one has specifications, but there are so many different things you can do with mirrors that you can have a lot of fun with playing with them, and I highly suggest you do it. It's so easy and so cheap to get into playing with mirrors and doing glass work that you'd be remiss if you didn't. Now, since this table saw is not exactly perfect, I have to come back and clean up the inside kerfs with a chisel here. They're pretty close and most of the waste came out, but just a little bit needs to be touched up here. Now, to do this, I attached 3 sides of the frame with just those little pinch clips you see there. You don't really need a whole lot of pressure because it's only supporting this little thin mirror. And you want to be able to fudge things around a little bit and get them to fit. So these little clamps, I got them at Harbor Freight. They're like $3 for a whole barrel full of them. Perfect for this job. And I left the other piece of trim out of this just because I didn't want the mirror in it while I was still working on it, so I could, take it out, stain it, whatever. I just clamped it on temporarily now just to keep everything in place and then lock things down. I stained this all off camera here. Wasn't intentionally off camera, somebody forgot to press record. Don't know who that could have been. Also off camera, I beveled the bottom side where the frame is. It just gives it a little bit more of a floating look, slightly better, slightly more refined. But you could leave it chunky, you could put some, do something different with the edge banding. You could really have fun with something like this. So I slip the mirror in once it's all, said and done. and just put that last little bit on. And I used every clamp, so why not? Now, this needs to hang vertically, and I don't have a real good way to hang it, so what I did here is I just put 2 screws into the top and took some leather lace, or synthetic sinew, and made my own hanger. There's a million different things you could use. You could use wire, you could use those adjustable brads. It's really up to you. Be very careful you don't drill too deep and shatter the mirror. I was so terrified of doing that. After getting this all finished, that would have been the icing on the cake for this job. Also, when you do this, make sure they're level, or they're even, so it hangs level when you're done. Oh boy. Seems like the last step's always the most prone to screwing up for one reason or another. I just tied it on and went back and forth a couple times, kind of looping it around itself to give it some extra tensile strength. Because while it's not heavy, you don't want this falling down in the middle of the night. So guys, thanks for watching. What'd you think? I know there were some screw-ups when I was cutting the glass, and that happens. That's why you buy bigger pieces than you need. Coincidentally, that leaves me with plenty of spare parts to make others. Sell them in the future, make a collage type thing, whatever. It's simple, it's basic, it's easy. And this was a commission from someone that I know, kind of roughly through friend groups, and super easy, guys. I think I did it off camera, but I did bevel the back just to give it a nicer floating type appearance when it's on the shelf. And that was just running the sander over it. Putting this piece on here, this cap piece, was a little hairy doing it that way, just because it wasn't on yet, so I didn't want to take too much off. So that's just a judgment call you have to make. And I didn't want to be sanding it with the mirror in place, obviously, because that could lead to problems. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think down in the comment section below, and thank you for helping make this world better, one curve at a time, and I'll see you later.